But what you can do is get ready to enjoy some Lamplight City. So for those that don't know what Lamplight City is, it's a point-and-click adventure game set in an alternate history U.S. I don't know if it's near New York or where Louisiana is. I really don't remember, to be honest. I'd have to look. But basically, it's 1844, and the U.S. never broke away from the U.K. So it is still under British rule. This game takes place in New Britannia, or Lamplight City, if you will. And it's kind of a steampunk kind of game. There's airships, there's steam technology. It's a really interesting game. Under British rule, you say. I do say. And we're on the final case, as far as I can tell. There's been a chain of murders by the Justice Killer, I believe his name is. Well, at least what they've given the name to. He kills somebody, usually a single gunshot, leaves the word justice somewhere nearby the body, and leaves a flower somewhere in the room with the corpses, which we discovered at the end of the last time we played. And this is quite possibly the same person that helped in the death of our partner Bill. Arcorona, no, that's perfectly fine. Thank you for coming over. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you again here soon. You have yourself a lovely evening. And, yeah, just, take care. Sorry, I needed a drink. Thought it's getting a little dry. So, yeah, we're going to finish. However, let me leave you with one of these. I like surprises. I appreciate the follow, Arcorona. Hope we'll be seeing you again here soon. Hopefully tomorrow. I do stream on Sundays, so I'm not sure what time I'm streaming yet. I might do another early thing. I don't know. It's a holiday weekend, so I got 3 days off. I can stream early if I want. But yeah, have a lovely night, and see you soon. I love how stories like this involve the killer leaving a memento to their murder when in real life, right after a murder, you're running like mad to try and get away. So I'd imagine. You would think, but again, this person's very theatrical. This person was actually breaking into a flower shop repeatedly, the same one, to get the specific flower, and would leave coins on the counter. So what's that tell you? The friend wave, love that. So let's go ahead and get to the bigger screen here. Really? Well, I was on it. Why weren't you? Whatever, game. I don't care. And let's load it up. So he murders people and continues to prop up capitalism? Monster. Well, it is under British rule. You have to think the British aren't capitalists, especially in 1844. But yeah, this is the scenes we had.
Ooh, that's not a pretty sight. Way to ruin a perfectly good wall. I bet that'll take ages to clean up. Interesting place for a flower.
He doesn't seem as mad anymore.
Whew.
Bill was very mad because we revealed to Miles' wife that he was hearing the voice.
Bloody writing. This killer is one sick individual. Must have been a powerful shot to knock him backwards like that.
He's on about them ruining the wall when there's a dead body there. Well, Bill's dead. I mean, the body is kind of whatever.
That flower adds a nice touch to an otherwise drab apartment. Too bad about the body, though. Not a very pretty way to go out. I wonder if he was trying to get something from that safe. The flower certainly brings the room together. You have to wonder what the meaning behind this is. The Justice Killer sure is thorough, you have to give him that. At least this poor slob got to die in bed. Pretty flower, but is there really anything special about it?
I don't know. But yeah, Bill's finally calmed down a little, which is good.
Therein lies Upton's boudoir.
Okay. Let's check the newspaper. We haven't checked that yet. Alright, Atwood under fire for alleged cooping scheme. We learned about this in the last case. People were abducting different people, getting them drunk off their asses, putting them in random clothes, and then taking them to different polling places and having them vote more than once at different locations. So there was some fuckery going on. More controversies emerged after Hart Leroy's landslide victory against Herbert Atwood, as accusations of a pro Atwood cooping scheme have emerged. Allegedly, Atwood's campaign hired men to find unsuspecting victims, ply them with alcohol, and then force them to vote multiple times in disguise in order to increase Atwood's chances of re-election. The victims were kept in a small room referred to as a coop and forced to change clothes several times in order to vote repeatedly. Once they served their purpose, victims were left in back alleys around the city, dazed and confused. Despite the efforts, it was not enough to secure Atwood's victory. The information comes from the alleged leader of a cooping gang who agreed to talk. So there you go. Citizens fear mass murderer, which is the case we're now working on. The general mood around New Britannia is one of caution and fear, especially in Chumley. 4 victims have so far been claimed by the so-called Justice Killer, with no apparent motive or link between them. That's what makes it so frightening, said Chumley resident Simon Banks. You have no idea who's going to be next. It's gotten to the point where I stopped sweeping chimneys before sundown. When reached for comment, the New Britannia police offered no new information, but encouraged citizens to remain vigilant and avoid answering their doors for strangers. Rumors of a nightly curfew have been swirling, but no confirmation has been given. Anyone with information regarding the identity of the killer is strongly encouraged to contact the New Britannia police. Arrest made in tragic election night murder, which I really hope we got right, because there was no other clues we could find, no way to advance. So, I mean, but I still feel kind of, because there was that chest and I couldn't open it. Ronan L. Espay, Espay, an employee of the Gripsome taxidermy shop, was murdered outside the Silent Raven pub in Chumley on election night. According to New Britannia police, the person responsible was James Bogroff, a sailor on the SS Priscilla who was on a shore leave. At the time of this writing, the motive for the murder remains unclear, although an unconfirmed source reports that the 2 men were former lovers and the murder was a crime of passion. Bogroff was arrested on the charge of murder in the 2nd degree and is set to stand trial in November. L'Espay was described by his sister as full of life and an avid fan of books and travel. Although Mr. L'Espay, I forget how to pronounce it, himself had apparently never left Vespuccia, contributions to pay for Mr. L'Espay's funeral expenses are being accepted. Gascon spiritualist arrested for fraud? Oh, this is different. Angela Maxwell, the leader of a spiritualist group in Gascon known as the Spectre Society, was arrested yesterday on charges of fraud after an extensive undercover operation by the New Britannia police discovered that she was exploiting her clients and robbing them of their money. Wow. Detective Lester Barnett attended several meetings under an assumed name, during which she observed Miss Maxwell's ruse. She would claim her client was cursed, then offer healing services for a fee. The client would then pay exorbitant amounts of money over a period of time to be cured. A representative of the New Britannia police offered this warning. We urge the public to be extremely wary of anyone claiming to be able to communicate with spirits or deceased loved ones. In reality, they often just prey on the grief-stricken and vulnerable. Oh boy. What kind of wrinkle is this going to bring in, I wonder? Let's hit the House of Parliament. Hey, you're here.
Fordham, what brings you to this delightful spectacle?
Hello, Edwards. I'm investigating the Justice Killer. I believe I've got a very promising lead.
I heard an officer mention new orders from Snelling, but I thought he was just pulling my leg. Feel free to have a look around. I'm just writing up the notes from my initial examination of the body, so I'll be happy to share my findings.
Good. I'll just get started then.
By the way, James, here's the flag. It's a lovely looking thing, isn't it?
The former Percival McDonough, being a good politician.
Let's check his calendar. October's
Odd.
missing.
The page for this month has been torn out. Do you suppose Edwards might know anything about that?
Maybe.
Looks pretty fresh. I wonder what the killer uses to write with. These appear to be books on cryptography. I suppose everyone needs a hobby. Leave it to a politician to hang a portrait of himself in his own office.
True. All right, Edwards, what do you got for me?
Got a moment, Edwards?
Of course. What's on your mind?
So, what was found at the crime scene?
A dead body.
God
Edwards.
damn it.
Hey, just trying to lighten the mood a bit.
There aren't
Anyway,
50
there
stars
was
on that
also the
flag,
word
which is
justice
fine
written
because
in
I'll
blood,
be
as
deep
you
in
can
the
see on
cold
floor.
hologram before I recognize
all?
Missouri.
What more do you need? All the pieces are
All
in
right,
place.
Simpsons quoting.
This is the work of the justice killer.
Let's talk
How
about
did
the
your
body
examination of the body turn up?
Apparent cause of death was a single gunshot to the head, exactly like all the other victims. The bullet is still lodged in his brain. I'll remove it once I transport the body back to the mortuary.
Anything else?
No personal effects of note, just a folded up piece of paper in his breast pocket. It's blank, so the police weren't interested. I assume you aren't either.
Never assume, Edwards. I'll take it if you don't
first.
mind.
I swear to God, put it
Be my
over,
guest.
put it over here or something. It's got some like secret
Did
fucking
the police
writing
manage to
over it.
learn anything during their investigation?
Not much beyond what I've already told you. I think they were planning on speaking to the victim's wife, though.
Did you get the address?
I did, as a matter of fact. 1820 Kent Place.
Now we get to deal with the grieving widow. Hopefully the officers who delivered the news got the worst of it.
We'll have to find out.
Did you find an Easter lily anywhere?
An Easter lily?
Yes. The justice killer leaves one at every crime scene.
Is that right? I never noticed.
Neither did anyone else, apparently.
So how does leaving a lily at the scene of the crime figure into all of this?
I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think it might be important to understanding his motive.
Well, be sure to let me know if you do figure it out. The thought process of killers is a twisted, curious thing.
What's
Come
your
on.
take on this whole justice killer situation?
It's giving me a lot of extra work, let me tell you. We haven't had a serial murderer in a long time. Not since that fellow who was poisoning people about 10 years ago.
Wait, what?
Ah, yes. Gascon Ghoul. Now there was a case.
Any theories or insights regarding the killer's motive or identity?
That's not really my specialty. If you want to get into that psychology stuff, you're better off talking to someone like Snelling.
Oh, do we have to?
Does it feel good to be out of the office?
As long as I have the chance to examine a body and learn something in the process, I don't care where I am. Though I do admit a preference to working in my own environment. Fieldwork can be a bit uncertain. There's so much more potential for contamination, especially with those clumsy officers trouncing about groping everything. Present company excluded, of course.
Yeah, we're gonna be pretty careful. We don't
Edwards,
touch
Do you
everything.
notice McDonough's desk calendar?
I did. This month has been torn out. I asked the officers investigating the scene, and they had no idea what happened to it.
So it wasn't found in this room?
That's right. My theory is that the killer took it.
Why though?
Which means there was probably something incriminating written on
I
it.
mean, yeah, that's
If
possible.
only there was some way of knowing what it was.
There is.
Have you forgotten the oldest trick in the book? Just find a pencil and you'll have that information in
Bill, right on my wavelength.
Edwards, do you have a pencil I might borrow?
Of course. Take this one.
Thank you.
Me and Bill, a lot of time we're
That's
thinking
all for
the
now,
same
Edwards.
thing.
Good luck with your
I'm
investigation.
telling you, great detective right here.
A classic trick. Let's see if it works.
Aha. Ruby. Tea Shockley at 10 p.m. Ruby at 8 a.m. Nothing on these days. So it looks like it's just those 2 days.
Intriguing. We'll need to find out who this Ruby is.
Oh, sorry, Shackley.
Aha! McDonough met with this person the night of the murder. I'll bet 500 crowns it's a false name, but at least it's something. No time to waste with further conversation right now. You've got a killer to find. The former
There was the paper in the pocket. Blank, right? Is there anything else I could... Let's check the drawers.
Nothing but a bunch of boring documents. You'd think he could have at least been considerate enough to keep something scandalous in here.
Alright. Let's head to the widow's place.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. Your butler just announced me.
Oh, of course. Forgive me. I was just, well, never mind. Please make yourself comfortable, Mr.
Oh, this will
Fordham.
be fun.
Thank you, Mrs. McDonough. I appreciate you seeing me, Mrs. McDonough. I know you must be going through a difficult time right now.
What exactly is it you want from me, Mr. Fordham? I already spoke to the police about my husband's murder.
I just have a few questions of my own.
Oh, very well.
I mean, I understand she's upset. She's at least not, like, biting
What
my
can you
head
tell me
off.
about your husband?
I'll tell you the same thing I told the police, Mr. Fordham.
Your butt
Percival
just
was one of the
announced me.
hardest working members of Parliament. He took his job extremely seriously. The
think
recent
that says more
election
about
caused
your,
him a
hearing
terrible
than it
amount
does
of
about the game.
consternation, as I'm sure it did most people. He took Atwood's loss rather hard.
Did you see much of him?
I beg your pardon?
Surely someone with such an important position in government could find themselves consumed by their work. Did he spend much time at home?
He made it a point to come home and have dinner with me every night, even if he had to return to the office
Maybe
afterwards.
I was reading a Facebook comment at the
And
time.
did that happen
That's fair.
often?
At least 3 or 4 times in a week, yes. He'd stay in his office working late into the night. As I said, he was very dedicated to his role.
Sounds to me like she's quite dedicated to hers, too.
Did your husband have any enemies?
He was a politician, Mr. Fordham. Half the city hated him.
Did he ever receive any kind of threats against his life?
None that I was ever made aware of. I have no idea who could have killed him, let alone who could have gotten into his
Is there
office
how much
to
I've really
do
enjoyed
it.
this? I'm actually
He
still
hadn't told
looking
me
forward to
about any
the
meetings
next
or
game that's coming
appointments
out from
this
this
week
developer.
either.
Was it his custom to
Rosewater.
inform you of
So
his work
I
affairs?
look forward to that
Oh,
announcement.
well,
as
I've
voice-
always taken an
the
interest
voice
in my
comes.
husband's work. He'd often mention initiatives he was working on or people he was meeting, that sort of thing. Nothing sensitive or confidential, you understand. Just conversation about his day.
Can you think of any reason why your husband would have been murdered?
Not really. He was a vocal opponent of the construction of the Gascogne-Chumley Bridge, but I hardly think that would have been sufficient reason to drive someone to murder.
Why is that?
Well, it's just a bridge, isn't it? There are plenty of other ways to get to Chumley.
I meant, why was he opposed to it?
Oh, because the amount of money required to build it is exorbitant.
Of course.
Public funds should be used on roads and buildings that are falling apart. What's the point of having something shiny and new if everything around it is in disrepair?
Because you
How are
gotta
you
start
feeling,
somewhere
Mrs.
and
McDonough?
beautifying things.
My husband of 42 years was shot in his office. How do you think I feel?
Tactful as always, Fordham. How do you do it?
My
Carefully.
apologies. Perhaps that wasn't the most appropriate question. Is there anything I can do to help?
You can start by finding the monster who murdered Percival.
Well, besides that, I'm already doing
Are you
this.
familiar with the art of cryptography, Mrs. McDonough?
What an odd question.
It's just I noticed several books on the subject in your husband's office.
Oh, well, yes. Percival was interested in cryptography and secret messages and the like. He would sometimes leave me coded notes when we first began courting many years ago.
What kind of notes?
Really?
Oh, now, Mr. Fordham, those were private. But Percival got a thrill out of knowing I was the only one who could read them. Sometimes he would write them using a special ink that would only appear when the paper was heated.
Oh, told
I
you.
can't remember the
Told
last
you.
time he
It was
did that,
like
though.
invisible ink on that paper.
Do you know anyone named Shackley?
No, I've never heard that name before. Why?
I saw your husband had a meeting scheduled with him shortly before his murder.
That can't be right. He didn't tell me about that. He always told me about his meetings.
It was written on his office calendar, clear as day.
As I said, I don't know who that person is. Why wouldn't Percival have told me about their meeting?
Why indeed?
And Ruby.
Are you familiar with someone named Ruby?
I can't say I am. Who is it?
Just a name that's come up in my investigation.
Sounds like the name of a trollop. Or perhaps a dog.
Have you heard of the Justice Killer?
That was the name the police mentioned when they told me about Percival's murder. It's absolutely terrifying to think that one sick person could be capable of such Such evil. Why is he called the Justice Killer? What justice was done by murdering my husband?
I'm afraid I can't answer that right now, Mrs. McDonough, but I intend to find out. Those are all the questions I have for now, Mrs. McDonough.
Let's take a look around her
All
place
right,
real quick.
Mr. Fordham.
Actually, there's a fireplace right here. Yes!
If this actually works, I'll eat my hat.
You're dead. Hat to be eaten? Dearest Mary, words cannot express the regret and sorrow I feel for how I acted last night. I swore to myself I would never harm you again after the last time, but I have failed us both. It is my deepest hope that you can forgive me and trust that I will never let this monster out again.
Well, I'll be damned. Just a painting of some boring old aristocrat. Surely this one was called Lady Felicity Euphemia Beaversnatch the Simple.
God damn it.
They look expensive, but I bet they're totally worthless. I feel sorry for the sucker who has to clean them. I think I'll call this one Lord Edmund Henry Lickspittle the Elder. This one looks like a Lady Camilla Prudence Wigglewaddle the Grey. Lord Alfred Edward Shufflebottom the Wise comes to mind when looking at this one.
I love Bill's dialogue.
They look expensive.
Alright, let's talk about Mary.
Can we talk some? Do you know anything about this letter?
I'm afraid I don't have my spectacles. What is it?
The coroner found it in your husband's pocket. He gave it to me because he thought it was blank. But after you told me about your husband's propensity for writing secret messages, I decided to try exposing the paper to heat. Allow me to read it to you. Dearest Mary, words cannot express the regret and sorrow I feel for how I acted last night. I swore to myself I would never harm you again after the last time, but I have failed us both. It is my deepest hope that you can forgive me and trust that I will never allow this monster out again.
I see. May I have that letter, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I have to keep it for now. It's evidence.
I suppose that does make sense.
Oh boy.
Mrs. McDonough, did Percival mistreat or abuse you?
He wasn't a bad man, Mr. Fordham. I wouldn't have married him if he was. It's just the stress of his responsibilities would sometimes oppress him. I would try and offer comfort, soothe his nerves, but there were a few instances where he lost control of his passions.
Did he ever hit you?
He did.
How many times did this happen?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe 2 or 3? You don't exactly count these things.
What a bastard. Maybe it serves him right for getting shot.
Thank you for your candor, Mrs. McDonough.
Can we please talk about something else?
Maybe.
Those are all the questions I...
All right.
I guess not right now. So, we have a husband who's abused his wife. Shot with justice. I wonder if the Justice Killer is actually like a murder for hire kind of thing.
Fordham, how goes the investigation?
Way better than how it's
I'm
been going
making
for
some
you.
headway.
Is that right? I certainly hope so for your sake.
Chief Jacobs. Now there was a leader.
Here, I'll help you with the
Chief
case.
Snelling?
Yes, Fordham?
God, you look like a douche.
What information do you have on the Justice Killer?
Clearly not as much as you.
Oh, I see how this is gonna go.
Well, what do you have?
A list of 5 victims, some information on each of them, and no clear idea what connects them. Until your discovery of the lily at each scene, that was where we stood. While I doubt this discovery will do much to aid in tracking him down, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
You better be.
Do you know anything about Percival McDonough?
He's a member of Parliament. I believe his constituency is somewhere in central Kingsland. From the reports I've gotten, McDonough led a rather unassuming life for a politician. He is, however, the first victim who didn't live in Chumley. Either there's a link we've missed, or the killer is changing his method. Then again, since you seem so confident in your abilities to resolve this matter, I assume you'll provide an explanation.
Don't be a whiny
Count
little
on it.
bitch. Oh, hang on, internet's being a little fucky. Give it a second. Come on. Power through. God damn, come on. Sorry, everything's gone in the red. Alright, there we go. Alright, I think we've recovered now.
What do you know about the Justice Killer's previous victims?
Only what's in their files. All working men from Chumley. That's the only link.
You didn't look further into their personal lives? Maybe they had some social connection.
As I said, the detectives found nothing. You seem to think you can do better, so I'll leave it up to you.
You have to wonder how much more thorough the department's investigations would have been if the 4 men were all rich like McDonough.
True.
So I see the department is still running like a well-oiled machine.
It is, in fact. But I'm sure Upton has kept you well informed of our activities. Incidentally, the woman accused in the Harris kidnapping is set to testify in court today.
Linda Walker's trial is today? That was fast.
Indeed. Sometimes the wheels of justice grind slowly. Sometimes they spin out of control.
It's hard to remember.
She'll be
Case
taking
wasn't
the
that long
stand
ago
within
for
the
us.
hour. If you care to hear her for yourself, best get going soon.
Listen, about Leger's death.
I don't want to hear it, Fordham. What happened, happened. Nothing you can say is going to change my opinion on the matter.
And if I manage to find the man responsible?
The man responsible is standing before me. Even if you manage to find the culprit you let escape, it isn't going to bring Leger back from the dead.
But it will bring closure to the matter.
If that thought is what allows you to sleep at night, then so be it.
What makes him think you sleep at night?
Yeah, really.
Enjoying your new position, Snelling?
Reaping the rewards for years of hard work and dedicated service. A gratifying feeling you'll never be able to experience.
Oh, I get my gratification in other ways.
I'm sure you do, and I'd honestly rather not know about them.
I need to get back to my investigation.
Yes, time is not on your side, Fordham.
What a douche.
The rumor was always that the chief kept a bottle of something in a secret compartment in this cabinet. In Snelling's case, it's probably just water. Every book and file in there is organized to perfection. I'll bet Snelling gets flustered if anything is even a millimeter out of place.
Yeah, really.
You should bump into the side when he's not looking.
Ah, Bill. I kind of agree. That would be funny. Let's see. Let's go to the courthouse, I guess. Actually, before we do. Let's look at the police reports. Hannibal Kirkland, 32, gunshot to the head, an ironworker. Police found Kirkland in his home after his foreman reported Kirkland's absence from work. Apart from the word justice written in blood, nothing unusual was found at the crime scene, and no witnesses came forward. Investigation into Kirkland's personal life and habits revealed nothing of interest. Reggie Willingham, 47, gunshot in a cabbie. Police found William... God. Sorry, I just stuck there. Couldn't get loose. Found Willingham in his home after a missing persons report was filed by his employer. Crime scene was inspected, but aside from the word justice written on the wall in blood, nothing unusual was found. No witness came forward. An investigation into William's personal life and habits revealed nothing of interest. Now it's time for Enos. Bowditch, one shot, construction worker. Oh, at the bridge. Police found Bowditch in his home after his employer contacted police. Again, it's employers again. Crime scene showed signs of modus operandi of the so-called justice killer, but no other leads or clues were found. No witness came forward. Investigation and questioning of Bowditch's co-workers and former lady friend proved fruitless. And Burley Claus, gunshot and lamplighter, working for the Central Lamp Depot. Officer Douglas Parsons discovered Cause in his home after a report of a gunshot was made by neighbor Ethel Williamson. Parsons surveyed the scene and found the word justice written in blood, but no other lead or clues. Investigation into Cause's personal life and habits produced no further clues or leads. This had to have been the one that we sent the other cop on, the other officer, to distract him so we could investigate the one scene from the last case. Because that must have went the flowery smell and everything. So, alright. So let's actually go Oh wow, these all showed up. It's a good thing I read those. I'm gonna go back to the House of Parliament real quick. There isn't here. Wait, it's not here. There should have been the flower.
No signs of forced entry that I can see. The murderer didn't come in through this window. The former... No time to...
Huh. It should be here. Did they take it and hide it? I wonder.
Remind me, Miles, why are we here again? Is this for your own personal satisfaction, or did you expect her to have some useful information?
Shh. Mrs. Linda Walker, you stand accused of kidnapping Charles Harris. What have you to say in your defense?
I had to see if I could speak with my son Alexander again.
Yes. According to your initial statement, you seem to believe that the Harris child is the reincarnation of your own deceased son.
All the evidence was there. I thought it had to be him.
And in regards to the execution of your plan, you secretly administered a soporific drug to your friend and the Harris family nanny, Mrs. Henrietta Davis? Is that correct?
Yes. I felt terrible about doing it, but there was no other way.
According to your journal, you used a mixture of chamomile and valerian, instructed by a Samuel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Samuel is a friend of mine. He works at the docks, and he knows all about plants. I asked him what the best combination of herbs would be to put someone in a deep sleep.
So it was your idea, and not his?
Yes, that's right. He only told me about the plants. He's quite the expert. Why, you should see his collection of Easter lilies.
Oh.
Did she just say what I think she said?
Now then, let's turn our attention to the night in question.
Interesting. This Samuel person might be worth looking into, although we can't waste time searching the docks with just a first name. I'd make a note of it, just in case it becomes relevant later.
And that's why
All
we
right,
come,
I've had
Bill.
enough of this courtroom. Let's get back out there. Time's running out.
Good shit. Good shit. All right. We got these other locations. So let's go with the cab first.
Remember, a black eye is not a badge of honor. Anyone picking a fight will be dismissed immediately. Well, that's hardly any fun, is it? I thought about a career as a mechanic once. Glad I chose police work. Way less messy.
Oh, God.
Good evening.
Oh, it's you again. Small world.
Indeed. Mr. Shaw, was it?
That's right. So, what brings you around to the cab depot?
I
Oh!
wanted to ask you some questions.
Oh, the
if you
guy
spare some
from the
time.
last
That
case.
shouldn't be a problem.
You.
Did you know Reggie Willingham?
Reggie? Sure, I knew him. Well, just as rather I didn't.
Oh? Why do you say that?
The man was a bore, a scoundrel, a no-good bounder.
I wish he would tell us how he really felt.
At
The
least
only
he's
reason they
honest.
kept him on here was because he was a good driver.
So it's fair to say you didn't like him?
Nobody did. When I heard he'd been killed, wasn't exactly a surprise. If I treated people the way he did, I'd surely have a lot of enemies.
Oh.
Could you elaborate a bit on Mr. Willingham's behavior?
Do tell.
Oh, he was a proud one. Thought he was God's gift to mankind. Always strutting around,
an Andrew Tate
bragging
fan.
about how many gratuities he'd earned or how many fist fights he'd won against drivers from Phillips. He had the shortest
I was
fuse
joking, but
I've
it sounds
ever
like
seen, too.
you're pretty accurate.
Just looking at him the wrong way could set him off. I'd always laugh to myself when he'd brag about how many women he'd had in a week.
Why is that?
Because it was obvious he had to pay for the pleasure. A man like that isn't going to get a woman otherwise. I may not be a hit with the ladies, but even I know that being a bastard is a surefire way to drive 'em off.
Are you
love
familiar with the
jokes that's filled
so-called
out for
justice
me.
killer?
I've heard a few rumors here and there about some murders in the chum, but I haven't paid 'em much attention. There's plenty for me to worry about in my own life.
Aren't you concerned for your safety?
Not really. Well, I haven't done anything wrong. So if this loony's going around doing justice, nothing for me to worry about.
He makes a good point. I think we need to get a better idea of what exactly these victims did to incur the wrath of our killer.
Yeah, really.
What can you tell me about Coulson Cabs?
Not a bad place, really. Only problem is the number of people always coming here for work. Lots of folks think driving a cab is an easy job that anyone can do, but that's not the case. You need to know this city like the back of your hand, and it helps to know how to drive. So we get lots of fellas starting here who don't have the slightest clue what they're doing. They don't last long.
What about the automated cabs? Are those a problem for you?
I prefer not to think about those. Coulson has said he's got no plans to replace his fleet, so it's all that matters to me.
Fair enough, and let's talk about you.
Are you still living in Pumblechook Place?
I am, sir. Things are more or less the same, except Roger's not around anymore. Suppose he must have moved on. Hope he isn't planning on coming back, because his paintings made for great kindling.
Oh, I have a feeling he won't be. I appreciate your time, sir.
Yeah, he ain't coming.
Pleasure's all mine.
All right, let's take a look around real quick if there's anything else to look at. Okay, there's nothing else here. Let's get out of this pinging. It's killing my ear. Alright, Central Lamp Depot.
You there! What are you doing?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm trying to find out about...
No time for that now! Get in here and shield your eyes!
I beg your pardon?
Just do it!
What's going on exactly?
Shh! Everything ready, Alex?
Is he about to go
3,
blind?
2, 1, go! Amazing! It works! It works!
What works?
Etheric lamps! Our experiment was a success!
Oh, really?
What exactly have we wandered into here, Miles?
May I ask you a few questions?
Of course! What would you like to know?
So Aethericity is actually being... Oh god, that hair.
You worked with a man named Burley Cause, is that right?
It's like Ace Venture's hair just with a
killed.
mullet.
Such a senseless tragedy. It's a shame he missed out on our demonstration. He was really interested in etheric technology.
Wasn't he concerned about losing his job to these technological advances?
He had no reason to. It's been made clear to all the workers that there will always be a place for us, even if our jobs are made obsolete. Unlike some other places, we take care of our own here at the Lamplight Depot.
How noble. But I'm pretty sure he's full of more hot air than the HMS Lenore.
Well, it's not that full of hot air, it crashed. Oh, no, Lenore is the sister ship, isn't it? Never mind.
Is there anything you know about Mr. Cause's personal life that might be relevant?
I know he was married, but I don't believe he had any children. Oh, and he used to talk about his love for fishing.
Could you give me his home address? Perhaps his wife will be willing to speak with me.
Yes, certainly. He lived at 820 Orchard Avenue, apartment 2A.
Thank you for the information.
Alright.
Do you know any details about Mr. Cause's murder?
Unfortunately, I don't. The police were here asking questions, but they didn't give me many details.
Do you know of anyone who might have wanted him dead?
Not at all. Burley was very friendly, always treated everyone around here with respect. You know,
Wait,
it's
bet he was,
sad to think that for all
abusing
our
his
leaps
wife.
forward, we're still really just a bunch of savages.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
I've read about it in the newspaper. A horrible business. It makes me wish we could install more street lamps to keep this city safer at night. Someday, I hope to realize that dream. Then we'll really deserve to be called Lamplight City.
You think brighter streets will stop serial murderers?
It's well known that crime rates are lower in Lyon and Worcester, and they have many more street lamps per square mile.
I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with the amount of wealth in those areas. Has to be all about
give
the
him a
lighting.
little of the spritz, I see, Arrow.
You mentioned something about etheric lamps?
Yes! Weren't you paying attention to our demonstration? You have just witnessed history!
What I witnessed was a blinding flash of light.
Exactly! That flash was the result of years of painstaking research and experimentation. It means that not only does ethericity exist, but it can be used as a source of illumination.
if these experiments continue to be successful, as I suspect they will, we'll have etheric street lamps before the end of the decade. Imagine lamps that burn twice as bright, 4 times as long. Oh, this will change everything.
Everything.
And if it's like anything else we've seen, it'll put a lot of people out of work, too.
That's unavoidable.
What is it you do here exactly?
Oh, several things. This is the main hub of the city's Department of Illumination. It's really just a grandiose way of saying that this is where all affairs related to street lamps and public lighting are taken care of. But in addition to sending out lamplighters or mechanics to repair damaged lamps, we also do research into new methods of illumination. That's what my personal specialization is. I help develop and test more efficient ways of lighting our streets. I guess you could consider me a modern-day Prometheus. Yes.
More like an everyday pretentious.
Thank you. Your cooperation is much appreciated.
Happy to help.
All right. Let's
Too bad you didn't get a chance to read that sign before their little experiment. I wouldn't get too close to that thing. It might end up turning you inside out.
I don't think it'll do that.
So this is where all the lamps in the city come from. I can't believe I never bothered finding out before. There's the bunch of crap they used to build street lamps with.
I don't think there's anything else here to look at.
I wouldn't get too close.
Can I get closer?
I wouldn't get too close to that thing.
I'm curious. I'm gonna save. I want to see if I can actually get closer. It won't let me. It would have been funny though. But we have the address. Let's check the bridge construction site next.
Huh, they seem to be making pretty decent progress. I wonder if it would be any fun to tie yourself to that thing and go for a few spins.
I fucking wouldn't.
Safe for only 25 men at once. I used to draw the line at 2.
Excuse me.
Hey, what are you doing here? This is a construction area.
I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. I'm looking into the murder of a man who used to work here.
Fordham? You the same man who got Laura Dupre arrested?
Yes, that's right.
Ah, good to meet you. I'm Gerard. My sister Amelie used to work as her cook. Would tell me stories about how horrible Dupre was. Good to see some justice done for a change.
Glad to be of service. And good to meet you as well, Gerard.
So you say you looking into a murder? You talking about Bowditch?
Yes, that's right. I had a few questions for you, if you don't mind.
Nah, should be okay to talk for a few minutes.
You worked with Ennis Bowditch, right? What can you tell me about him?
Ennis was fun to talk to, always telling stories. Pretty sure most of them were made up. But it made time go by faster while we worked, and he made me laugh. We weren't really friends, but it's duller without him around, you know?
Do you know what Bowditch did on his off time?
Yeah, that's
Not really. I only saw him on the job. But I know he was seeing a woman. I forget what he said her name was, though.
Did he mention anything else about her?
Oh, sure, but I don't think they are the type of thing that would help you, if you get my meaning.
Right. Anything of a non-personal nature that might help me find her?
Yes, he mentioned she worked as the serving girl at the ruined coffee house.
Oh,
I see.
There again?
Thanks.
We haven't been there since the first case. Everything's tying in.
Do you know any details concerning Bowditch's murder?
I only found out when the boss man told us.
Can you think of anyone who might have wanted him dead?
Well, everyone here liked him. I don't think he owed no one money or nothing like that. But maybe someone at his other job wasn't so friendly with him.
Other job?
Who knows?
Other job?
Ennis also worked at the docks as a longshoreman.
Did he?
Well, that would have been handy to know sooner. Better late than never, I guess.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Justice Killer? No, I don't know anything about that. Who is he?
A serial murderer. He's the one who killed Ennis Bowditch.
And you trying to find him?
That's the plan.
Well then, I wish you luck. Ennis didn't deserve to die the way he did. I hope that murdering bastard gets what he deserves.
So, the Gascon-Chumley Bridge is finally being worked on.
That's right. The project started up again shortly after the election. That Leroy, he's not wasting any time. Maybe a good thing for this city and for the country.
Indeed. I think it will be. How long before the bridge is complete, do you think?
They say it will take 5 years, but who knows? As long as the work is steady, you won't find me complaining.
And let's talk
You
about you.
normally work in construction?
Mostly. Sometimes I'd be doing other jobs here and there. But I'm lucky to have gotten this job. I think it will keep me in work for a long time. Which is good, because I have 3 mouths to feed at home.
Be sure to watch yourself then. I hear these types of jobs can be dangerous.
Oh, believe me, I know. One slip up and bam! That's the end of you. But I always watch myself.
Good. We don't want you dying.
How's your sister doing?
Good. She still works for the Dupre family, but with that monster Laura gone, she's much happier. She tells me the family is acting like the madame never existed, and the husband raised Amelie's pay, too.
Well, that's good.
That does sound like an improvement.
It's just a shame 2 others had to die for it.
Thank you, Gerard. I appreciate the information.
Not a problem, boss.
I really do love the aesthetic of this game. God, so many places open up. Alright, let's check the last place here. From the original 4 that we had.
Well, that doesn't look good.
Oh, something blue.
This place sure is big. I wonder if they actually make anything useful.
See if there's anything on. Alright, let's talk to the foreman.
Excuse me, sir. Are you in charge here?
Unfortunately, who are you? This area isn't open to the public.
I'm Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator looking into the murder of one of your workers.
A private investigator, eh? And maybe you can help me out.
I'll do what I can, but I'll need to ask you some questions, Mr.
Mims. Sanford Mims. Go ahead.
Mims.
But make it snappy.
What a last name. I don't know, I like it, it's just I wasn't expecting it.
What can you tell me about Hannibal Kirkland? A former employee here?
Listen, I've got a lot on my mind right now.
I understand, but it's important to my investigation that you tell me what you know about him.
I'm sure it is, but as you can see, I've got a lot to deal with right now.
Well, he's no help. Maybe you can figure out a way to help him help us.
What happened to your iron mill?
What's it look like? The damn thing went and got blown up.
Was it in disrepair?
Of course not. All my machinery is sound. Checked and serviced regularly. This is the work of those goddamn Redites. I'm sure of it.
Really?
What makes you certain the explosion was the Redites doing?
Take a look, boy. The whole mill got taken out. Even if this had been a mechanical failure, which it wasn't, the explosion would have been contained to a single part of the machine. This couldn't have been anything other than sabotage.
Have you had problems with the Redites before?
They've sent anonymous letters, but this is the first time they've actually carried out one of their threats.
You're absolutely sure this was sabotage, then?
Yes. How many times have I got to tell you that? Listen, you said you were an investigator, right? So find out who did this to my machine.
God damn it.
If you do, I'll help you out with whatever else you wanted to ask me about.
Looks like we haven't got much of a choice. He seems pretty upset about his machine.
I'll see what I can do.
Fine.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out.
Yeah, there's no point in talking to him, he's not gonna help us.
Hey, that...
My apology.
Actually, can we look at it? Yeah, let's take a look.
Completely ruined. Whoever sabotaged this knew what they were doing.
Okay. Let's head to the apartment here. This is Cause's apartment 2A, right?
The number's a bit faded. Is this 2B? Or is it not 2B? That's the question.
Oh, Bill, shut up.
And I thought the housekeeping in my apartment was bad.
Let's check 2B.
Yeah? May I help you, young man?
Hello, madam.
Glad to
My
hear.
name is Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator. I have some questions about your neighbor.
You mean my former neighbor?
Hope you're enjoying yourself.
Yes. In any case, I'd appreciate it if you could help me with some information.
Nah, I don't think so. The last person to ask me about him was that awful policeman. I don't want to have to go through that again.
I'm sorry you had a bad experience, but I can assure you I won't give you a hard time.
Well, that's easy for you to say, but actions speak louder than words.
What do I have to do?
Uh-oh. I think I know where this is going.
Is there anything I can do for you then?
Well, since you asked, my layabout husband is out wasting our retirement fund with his drinking. Go find him and bring him back here. Then maybe we can talk.
Oh, wonderful. Now we're playing babysitter.
All right.
You'll find him at the Silent Raven.
Of course,
it's
sir.
not too far from here.
Yes, I know it.
Good. My husband's name is Kurt Williamson. You tell him his wife Ethel wants him home at once.
I'll do my best, Mrs. Williamson.
God.
There doesn't seem to be anyone at home. Apartment 2A. This is the place.
All right. Silent Raven.
Excuse me, are you Kurt Williamson?
That's right. Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
Oh, yeah? What is it you want from me?
Ethel sent me to tell you she wants you to come home right away.
I should have known. I can't get away for more than a few hours before she's put the entire city on high alert. How much of my retirement fund did she waste on getting you to come down here?
I'm only doing this because I need some information.
The joke's on you, then. You can just go back and tell her I'll come home when I'm damn well ready.
Why is it you're so averse to returning home?
Good question.
I enjoy going out and having a good time. Is that so wrong?
Your wife told me she doesn't like you spending your money on drink.
What I spend my money on is none of her business, and even less of yours. What's this world coming to when a man can't even drink in peace without all his affairs shouted from the rooftops?
You know, this whole situation seems awfully familiar.
Listen, Mr. Williamson, I think I know what you're going through.
Oh, yeah?
My wife and I were having a rough patch. I wasn't being honest with her, and it nearly drove us apart.
But you managed to fix things.
Yes, I was fortunate. I did the right thing before it was too late.
And what did you do?
It was simple. I just communicated honestly and openly with her. I told her what was wrong and how I was feeling. And you know what? She listened. Have you ever told Ethel why you like going out?
No. I assumed she wouldn't understand. I really wish she would come out with me, but I know she'd never agree.
How do you know? Have you actually talked to her about this?
Well, no.
Well, then maybe you should. If she
Look
knew
at us
you
saving
wanted
a
company,
marriage.
she might just give it a try.
You know, I never thought of it like that. I'm going to go home right now and tell her. And if she refuses, well, at least I asked, right?
That's the spirit.
Thanks for the advice, friend. I really do appreciate it.
Look at that.
Not bad. I have to say, I'm impressed.
Just a healthy conversation between two men. You don't see it very often. A little yelling in there, but, you know, it worked. And then there's you.
Excuse me, barmaid?
Hi, what do you need?
Do you know anything about the man sitting at that table over there?
Not really. He comes in here a few times a week, but he mostly keeps to himself. I see his type all the time, though. Older, probably retired and looking to escape his home life. I feel sorry for him, but that sort of customer is my bread and butter.
I mean, your moneymaker.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
What is that, some fancy drink concoction?
No. It's the name that's been given to a serial murderer here in the Chum.
I see. Never heard of him. And if he's smart, he won't show his face round here.
You know, this place suddenly feels just a little bit safer.
How are things here now that the election hubbub has subsided?
Oh, right. I thought you looked familiar. You were the one in here asking about the fellow who was killed.
That's right.
Well, there hasn't been too much excitement since then. I've hardly had to toss anyone out, which is a right shame.
Why's that?
Kicking out a rowdy customer shakes things up a bit on a quiet night like this. Gets the blood flowing, you know?
Oh, that's great.
What would a customer have to do to warrant being thrown out?
My general rule is if they're being a nuisance, they're out. If they try to pick a fight or are just being generally disrespectful, it's a one-way ticket to the pavement outside.
Good to know. I appreciate you taking the time to chat.
Yeah.
Alright, so that takes care of that. Let's go get the information we need from that neighbor now. Map. Look at us being smirked.
Ah, Mr. Fordham. Thank you so much for getting Kurt back home.
What can I say?
Don't mention it. Now, would you be willing to answer some questions?
Well, yes, of course.
Tell me what you know about Burley Cause.
He and his wife hadn't been living next door very long, maybe 4 months or so. But I didn't talk to either of them very much. They weren't interested in being neighborly, I guess. It's a shame, really. Maybe if we had known one another better, something like this could have been prevented.
Where is Mrs. Cause now?
I don't know, with her mother, maybe. That's usually how it goes.
You wouldn't happen to know where that is, would you?
Afraid not, but, there is one other thing.
Yes?
Don't say I told you this, but, well, I used to hear the two of them through my wall. I tried ignoring it since it's really none of my business, but it became impossible.
What was it you heard?
I don't believe they had a happy marriage. They'd have awful fights a couple times a week.
Noticing a
What
pattern.
would they fight about?
Oh, all sorts of things. The worst one was when she discovered he was going to a brothel.
Oh, no.
I think he might have hit her on a few occasions, too. But it can't be certain. I hope you don't think me a horrible old gossip, but I thought you might
No,
like
that's
to know.
valuable information.
Not at all. I'm glad you told me. What happened on the day Mr. Cause was killed?
I was here at home doing my knitting as usual.
I bet it looks beautiful.
All of a sudden, I heard a loud bang. It sounded like a gunshot. I went and knocked on Mrs. Cause's door, but there was no answer. I did notice a smell, though, like flowers. Something seemed wrong, so I decided to report the incident to the police. Not long after that, an officer showed up and started asking questions. Awful man he was, so rude. I gotta report him, but I forgot his name. I think it started with a P.
Parsons?
Yes, that's him. He called for some more officers and they got into the apartment. That's when I found out Mr. Cause had been murdered.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
You mean the serial killer who's been killing men in Chumley?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Nah, never heard of him.
What?
I'm just pulling your
God
leg,
damn it.
Mr. Fordham.
I like this one. She's got spirit.
Unfortunately, I only know what I've read in the Gazette, but it's scary to think some maniac is loose on the streets doing such terrible things. And with Kurt going out by himself for hours at a time, oh, I don't like it one bit.
And let's talk
How
about
long
you.
have you been living here?
Well, Kurt and I moved in shortly after we were married, so it's been about 34 years.
Goodness, that's a long time to be living in one place.
Yes, well, the building may be a bit run down, and it gets colder than cold in the winter, but the rent has always been cheap. You can't really ask for much more than that.
I appreciate your time, Mrs.
Sure as
Williamson.
I can't today.
Have a good day, Mr. Fordham.
Alright, so we're done there. We've got the coffee house and the docks. Let's check the coffee house out. And this is the serving girl we've been seeing every time we came in here in the
Begging
first
your pardon,
part
miss.
of the game.
How can I help you, sir?
I understand you were involved with Ennis Bowditch.
Was involved, yes. I haven't spoken to him in nearly 2 months.
Oh,
speak
were
up a
you
little
not
bit. I
aware
can't
of his
hear you.
death then?
What? Ennis he's dead?
Well, this is awkward.
Indeed. I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news.
How did it happen?
I'm afraid he was murdered.
Murdered? By who? And why?
Those are exactly the questions I'm trying to answer myself.
Oh, I see. Are you a detective?
A private investigator, yes.
Well, I'll answer what I can, if it helps any, that is.
I'm certain it will. What was your relationship with Mr. Bowditch like?
Oh, well, it was nice at first. He was a proper gentleman-like. But then something changed.
Oh?
It's like I told Ruby. I think he might have got hit on the head at work, because he seemed to be a completely different person.
Ruby.
He'd get angry for no reason. He even... Well, that bit's not important. At first, I thought he was just going through some rough times, but after a while I realized he'd changed for the worse. So I broke things off. He wasn't too happy about it, but I wasn't going to stick with a man like that.
This friend of yours, Ruby, did she know an MP named Percival McDonough?
I'm not sure. Ruby knows a lot of men.
Is that so?
Well, no, I don't mean... It's just... Oh, damn it all, me and my big mouth. She'll have my guts for garters now.
It's all right. No one's in trouble. But I think I'd like to speak with Ruby. Could you tell me where I can find her?
No. You see, she moves around quite a lot. Never in the same place for more than a night or two.
Right. I think she's given us a clear picture of what Ruby does for a living. Normally, I'd be all for pressing this girl more until she cracks, but I like her. I think we'll be able to find Ruby without causing her more discomfort.
Well, thank you for the information. You've been very helpful.
Okay then, got that.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Justice Killer? Is that some kind of pesticide?
What?
No, it isn't. Never mind. You've been working here for quite a while, haven't you?
I have, yes. Coming up on 3 years. Been a real pleasure getting to know all the regulars. They've come to be sort of like a second family. By the way, whatever happened with you and your lady friend?
I beg your pardon?
Well, that nice lady you met in here a couple of times. Did it work out between the two of you?
Oh, that? No, that was strictly business.
Right. Well, if you see her, tell her I said hello.
I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you, sir.
Alright then.
Asleep at a coffee house. One of life's little ironies. Not much of a hurry to clean up in here, are they?
So we have now heard of Ruby, who was on that calendar. Let's hit the docks.
Blank surfaces don't stay that way for very long around here. This sign could use a fresh coat of paint.
And nothing else. Alright, let's talk to this guy.
Trevor Hastings, is that you?
Why, Detective
Oh, it is.
Fordham. Fancy seeing you again. What brings you down to the docks?
I'm trying
Didn't
to track
recognize
down
him
a
for a
serial
second.
murderer, who I believe is the same man who was breaking into the flower shop.
You don't say. I wish I could help you, but the guy never came back after the night you and your partner came around. Where is your partner anyway?
Oh, he's around.
Well, give him my regards. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get this crate back, or Cecilia will have my head on a platter.
Of course. Good seeing you again.
He's around? That's probably the most clever thing you've said in months. Well done.
Oh, Bill, shut up.
Ah, the chum. You can never truly get away from it as much as you may try.
Can I move anywhere? There we are. I can go in the door. I didn't think I could.
Huh? What? Who is it?
Hello,
Okay.
sir. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Go ahead, but make it quick. Time is money, after all.
Did you employ a man named Ennis Bowditch?
I did, yes. He only worked for me occasionally, but he was always punctual and performed his job well. I learned recently that he had been killed. It was a tremendous shame. Workers of his caliber are so hard to come by.
Do you have any information relating to Mr. Bowditch's murder?
I'm afraid not. The truth is, I knew very little about him. It's the same with most of my men. I have a business to run, you see. It affords me very little time to socialize.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
I believe I saw a headline in the newspaper recently mentioning that name, but I dismissed it as fear-mongering nonsense.
Nope.
There are more important things I need to worry about.
Like money?
But the Justice Killer is directly responsible for the death of one of your workers.
Oh? Is that right? Well, there's nothing I can do about it. What my men get up to in their off time is none of my business.
Wow, this guy is even worse than you, Miles.
Oh, shut up.
What does your work here involve?
I'm in charge of tracking and cataloging all the cargo that passes through here. I receive the shipping manifest and make sure that things get unloaded and sent to the right places.
And you do all this by yourself?
Well, of course not. I'm in charge of administration. A team of workers does all the heavy lifting.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. I'll let you return to work.
Right you are.
Interesting. We've done there. Construction site. Let's go have a quick talk with Snelling. Give him up to date. Reginald
Chief Snelling?
Yes, Fordham?
Have you got any information on the Redites?
I'm up for now.
The Redites?
Arrow, you take
That
care.
ridiculous
I'll
gang of
talk to you later,
troublemakers?
but if not,
yes,
please
I
try to get a
have
good
some
night's rest,
information.
okay?
What's your
Love you,
interest in
friend.
them?
A witness is refusing to speak with me unless I can figure out who sabotaged his iron mill.
I see. All I can offer is a list of names of known Redites along with their last known whereabouts.
That'll help.
But I remind you that you only have until tomorrow afternoon before this indulgence expires, and I throw you in jail. This seems like a waste of time.
That's my decision to make.
Very well. I'll give you the list when you're ready to leave.
I need to get back to my investigation.
Yes. Time is not on your side, Fordham.
Yes. Give me the fucking papers.
Here you are. This is the most recent list of known Redites.
Clovis Sullivan, suspect.
This is a lot of names. If we're going to track down this saboteur, it might be best to retire to a more tranquil environment. Fancy a trip back to Upton's?
Yep. Suspect in 3 instances of sabotage. Western Vespuccia, arrested on charges of attempted murder. 15-year sentence. 2 instances of sabotage. Hanover, Worcestershire. Deceased. Involved in a factory explosion. Okay. 6 instances of sabotage. Gascon. And substantive 4 instances. Interesting. We got some names though, so that's good.
Right. This should be a quiet enough spot to concentrate on finding that saboteur. I just hope Upton doesn't mind you turning her parlor into your own personal study.
I'm sure she'll have no objection. Now, let's have a look at that list again.
Alright.
If dead men could cause explosions, let's just say things would be a lot different. This clearly isn't the right suspect.
And this person's in
Unless
prison.
Mr. McKee has escaped from prison, which I highly doubt, he's not our man. This might be who we're looking for, but it also might not be.
No harm in paying him a visit, except losing time in our other investigation.
It's possible that this is who we're looking for, but without some way to be absolutely sure, we're in danger of wasting precious time.
I'm not usually the gambling type, but a 1 in 3 chance doesn't strike me as the best odds.
This might be who we're looking for, but it also might not be.
We could pay him a visit. Who knows? We might get lucky.
I think we can rule out Mr. Sullivan as a suspect. He's Western Vespuccia's problem now. This might be who we're...
No harm in paying him a...
Alright, so we've got these 3 spots. Now we're gonna check Lucian Donaldson's residence, Paris Wilson's residence, or Peyton Ferguson's residence. I'm voting for Peyton. It's closer.
Well, who's this lovely specimen?
Allow me to introduce Peyton Ferguson, known Redite and prime suspect in a sabotage at the Thorbomb Ironworks. I picked him up and brought him straight to you.
Ooh, a saboteur. Just leave him to me and I'll make him feel right at home.
Please find the Justice Killer soon, Miles. Being Giles' prisoner is not my idea of a good time.
Right. I'll leave you to it then.
Hope I didn't pick wrong.
Therein lies Upton's...
Mr. Mims?
Yes?
I found the person responsible for
Oh, yeah?
His name is Peyton Ferguson. He's currently at the Bow Street Jail.
Hey, not bad. I owe you one, Detective.
He certainly does.
Wait, did I actually get it right?
What can you tell me about Hannibal Kirkland?
Good worker. Mostly kept to himself. Real shame what happened to him.
Do you know if anyone here
I was
disliked
just
Kirkland?
guessing, but did I
Enough to want him
actually get
dead?
it right?
Nah. There's the occasional scrap, but everyone around here gets along for the most part. Like I said, he mostly kept to himself. Head down, didn't bother nobody.
Do you know what he did outside of work?
No idea. I only ever saw him here.
You said Kirkland was a good worker?
One of my best. I knew something was up when he didn't show up for a couple of days. Don't think he'd ever missed work before.
Did he have any personal effects he kept here, or an area where he worked?
He had a cabinet downstairs in the workers' changing area, just like everyone else. You can go take a look if you want, but I don't think the police found anything. Kirkland's cabinet is the third one from the left.
Third from the left, got it.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
The who?
He's a serial murderer who's killed 5 men over the past 4 months.
Is that right? Never heard of him.
He may have killed one of your men. Weren't the police here asking about it?
Oh, is that what that was all about? I know they came poking around here a while back, but I was busy dealing with other things.
It's nice to see the lines of communication here are wide open.
Like
How
a
long have you
chasm.
been the foreman here?
Sometimes I think it's been too long. Things were so much easier before we got these machines. They keep saying they're supposed to improve our lives, but they've been nothing but trouble. I've already had 5 of my best men get mangled by some of them. And then there's these damn fools blowing things up. My hair wasn't this gray 5 years ago, you know. I swear one of these days, I'm just going to pack it all up and retire. Let someone else deal with these damn things.
I mean, that's not a bad
I'll be going
idea.
now.
Be careful on your way out.
At least having a heater down here manages to keep things warm. I remember the changing rooms at the police station were always ice cold.
Gents, please stop shaving in the showers. The clean lady almost tore my head off. She says the drain can't take all the hair.
Sounds like there's someone in there. If you weren't so bashful, I'd suggest joining in. You could certainly use it.
I don't have the code to get in.
Mr. Mims?
Yes?
Would you happen to know the combination to Hannibal Kirkland's cabinet?
No. Every worker sets their own combination, and I don't ask for it.
What happens if they were to forget it?
Well, I have them come up with some sort of personal reminder and keep those in a file.
And do you still have Kirkland's?
I'll give it to you as soon as we're done talking.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out.
Good time to give it to me then.
There you go. You're lucky I only clean out my files at the end of the year.
See, I always told you I wasn't disorganized. Just preparing for the future.
One shipwreck, the red and white, the sign. Four, 5, 8. All right. No. Okay, 5, 8, 4. All right. There it is, 3.
Empty. That's disappointing.
Not completely empty. There's something at the bottom here.
The Gilded Lily. 12 refined ladies in waiting, all sizes, petite, skinny, buxom. Special. Present this handbill and 50 shillings for the normal 1 crown treat. 499 Petticoat Lane, Chumley.
It seems our friend Hannibal had a few extracurricular activities after all.
Gilded Lily, huh? That's a bit suspicious.
Who knew such a pretty flower could cause such an inconvenience? The answer to that question is me, in case you were wondering. Flowers bring nothing but trouble. Trouble and snot.
That's enough, Bill. We need to get a move on.
Alright. At least we got something out of this. Hopefully Addie doesn't find out. The Gilded Lily.
Well, hello there, handsome. Welcome to the Gilded Lily. Come over here and tell me what kind of pleasure it is you're looking for.
Not that.
I'm afraid I'm here for business, not pleasure.
Oh, well, that's just a shame, isn't it?
I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. And you are?
You can call me Serafina. I'm in charge of this establishment.
You won't mind if I take a look around or ask you some questions?
As long as you keep to the front room, you can do whatever you like. Beyond that, you're gonna have to pay.
Maybe it's best if you leave this part out when you tell Adelaide about the case later.
Yeah.
Looks nervous. Wonder if this is his first time. You certainly won't find art like that at the National Gallery. Oh, my virgin eyes.
Bill, don't lie.
What a charming statue. Wouldn't she get cold fetching water in that state of undress?
May I ask you a few questions, Serafina?
Of course you may, but I can't guarantee the answers will be free.
Oh, you're wearing an eye patch, okay.
Do you know anything about the Justice Killer?
I'm afraid not, dear. I don't normally associate with killers.
Are you sure you don't know anything? He's the reason I'm here.
Well, I can assure you I know nothing about your murderer. If the trail has led you here, it's surely just coincidence.
Yeah, she seems awfully certain of that. It's a good thing we don't believe in coincidences.
Did you have a man named Hannibal Kirkland as a client?
I make it my practice not to learn the names of any customers here, Mr. Fordham. I hate to disappoint anyone who comes through those doors, but discretion is paramount in this business.
Well, at least you know you can trust these women with your secrets.
Do you by chance have a girl named Ruby in your service?
Ruby? Yes, she's one of our newest girls. She's not in any sort of trouble, is she?
Not at all. I merely wanted to speak with her.
Well, she should be in the dressing room. If you go through the rear door and follow the hallway down, it's the last door on the left.
I see. Thank you. Did you know Percival McDonough?
The politician? I knew who he was, but never met him personally.
Okay.
He was seeing Ruby, wasn't he?
Not regularly, no. In fact, his first and only visit with her was yesterday.
Were you aware that he was murdered shortly after that?
I had no idea. How terrible.
Yes, it is terrible. This means she's lost a potential repeat customer.
This is a lovely establishment you have, and such a nice name, too.
Thank you, my dear. It wasn't always called the Gilded Lily, though. We were formerly known as Le Maison de Tolérance.
What inspired the name change?
That's a bit of a long story. Not worth getting into.
Are you sure?
How long have you been operating?
Going on 25 years. Business has been good. There's a reason this is the world's oldest profession, you know.
Hey, remember, sex work is work.
So, how did you get into this business?
Like many of the other girls, it was the best of some bad options. I had no interest in being beholden to a husband. I may be a fallen woman, but better to fly and fall than to have your wings clipped.
Do you enjoy the work?
It's a job like any other, Mr. Fordham. There are good days and there are bad days. But my girls are my family. We take care of each other. I couldn't ask for anything better.
Thank you for your time.
Of course, my dear.
And now we go talk to Ruby.
Oh, hello. Did Serafina send you back here for me?
Yes, but not for the usual reasons. I'm a private investigator. My name is Miles Fordham. Ruby, I presume?
Yes, that's right. What do you need from me?
Just some information.
I want to check.
Well, I'll do my best.
Shine.
Cut down in her prime. I can relate. No lilies? Seems like a missed opportunity. That's a nice locket for being such a cheap piece of jewelry.
3132213. What?
I'm guessing this is where most of the girls keep their personal belongings. Doesn't seem to offer much in the way of privacy.
So, Ruby,
Yes?
Alright, let's see how this is gonna go.
have you heard of the Justice Killer?
No, I don't believe so.
He's a serial murderer who's killed 5 victims, mostly men from Chumley.
Oh dear. That sounds dreadful. Is that what you're investigating?
It is. Do you know anyone who might have some information about him?
I don't. Sorry I can't be more
had a
help.
big old stretch on that one.
Did you ever have a client named Hannibal Kirkland?
No, that name doesn't sound familiar. Sorry.
Do you know Ennis Bowditch?
Bowditch? Didn't think I'd be hearing that name again.
As I understand it, he was seeing your friend, the serving girl at the ruined coffee house.
Yeah, that's right. Annabelle. She broke things off with him a while ago, though.
So she said. Did you ever know him to be violent?
Violent? The bastard nearly beat Annabelle's brains in once. Why do you think she chucked him?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
At least she had the good sense to get rid of him.
Perhaps we should go confirm this newly discovered fact with Annabelle.
Did you ever meet a man named Burley Cause?
No, I never met him, but one of the other girls had him as a client.
Really?
I remember because she was laughing about his name. He wasn't very burly, if you get my meaning.
Right. Are you familiar with Reggie Willingham?
Oh, him? He had to be banned from here.
Really? What happened?
He got way too rough with one of the girls. She ended up shy a few teeth.
Jesus
Dear Lord.
Yeah, apparently he wasn't too fond of boundaries. Good riddance to him, I say.
Were you aware that Mr. Willingham was murdered?
What? Oh, well, now I feel terrible for saying good riddance. I meant...
I think I know what you meant, Ruby. It's fine.
Is it me, or is there a pattern starting to emerge?
Yeah, they're all abusive assholes, every one of them.
You met recently with Percival McDonough, is that right?
How did you know that? I thought he was meant to keep those sorts of things private.
He had your name written down in his calendar.
And you found me here based on that?
Well, I am a detective.
Suppose that's true. Anyway, yes. I only met him the one time. There wasn't anything remarkable about him. After we finished, he got all emotional about his wife, but I could hardly understand what he was saying. I hate it when they cry afterwards.
How long have you been in this business?
Only a few months now. Used to work at a kitchen, but then they brought in some of those new automated machines.
Ah, sadly familiar story.
At least this profession isn't in any danger of being made obsolete by steam tech.
But
Cold
wait till
steel
you have,
can never replace a warm touch.
those steam-powered pocket
Let's just
vaginas.
hope that's
Just
true.
saying.
I'll just leave you to it then.
Thanks, love.
We've exhausted.
Alright, let's go back to the coffee house and let's have a little chit-chat here.
Begging your pardon, miss.
How can I help you, sir?
I spoke with your friend Ruby. She told me something quite disturbing.
What was that?
She said that Ennis had fits of violence, and that the reason you ended your relationship was because he hit you.
Why would she tell you that? That was my secret to tell, not hers. I thought we were friends.
It's obvious she cares about you and was worried about your well-being.
Well, it hardly matters now Ennis is dead, does it?
But is it true? Did he raise his hand to you?
Yes. It is true.
I like that they actually,
As I
when they do
said before,
pauses, the dialogue doesn't show up
changed
ahead of
in
time. It's only when they're
have no
speaking.
idea
I think
what,
that's
but
a nice little touch.
I had to
add
get
those,
away.
dramatic
I see.
pauses.
Thank you for your honesty. I'm sorry you had to experience what you did. I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's see. small little piece of paper with the number sequence 31321. Sorry, 3132213. What does that mean?
History book. No time.
Maybe something back at this place? No. Let's go back to the dock. Let's talk
No
to
use
this guy.
bothering him.
Oh, god damn it.
No need to talk.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Let me think.
Hello again, Mr. Fordham.
Probably best to leave.
I need to step away for a quick second. It won't be too long. I'll be right back. Enjoy the background sounds. Sorry about that. Had to go fix a small tech issue. Hopefully it's fixed, but we'll see. Anyway. Let me think.
Therein.
Three, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1, 3. Damn it. Oh?
May I ask you a few questions?
Of course! What would you like to know?
With all these promises of technological advancement, have the Redites given you any trouble?
Oh, those tech-fearing dolts. Yes, I'm sorry to say that we've gotten threats from them. They have yet to carry any out, which is unsurprising.
How so?
Groups like that are all bluster and no backbone.
I've seen some evidence to the contrary.
Is that right? Well, we've seen little beyond threatening letters, and I intend to make sure it stays that way.
Do you have any of these letters I might have a look at?
Yes, I have one. I'll give it to you before you leave.
Thank you. Your cooperation is much appreciated.
Happy to help.
Here's that letter you were asking about.
The engineers have cast instruction. You're working in direct opposition to the natural order of things. Oh boy. These so-called improvements will be the downfall of our society. If you do not cause or cease your unholy experiments, the Redites will be forced to take action. You have been warned, P.F.
And that's interesting. Whoever wrote this letter signed it with initials. They can't have been so stupid as to make themselves so easily identifiable, can they? Perhaps it would be a good idea to take another look at that list you got from Snelling. Therein lies up.
Okay, so that was supposed to help me out with the last thing. God damn it. Alright, there. Okay, cool. We got new information.
Excuse me, Gerard?
Yeah?
Would you happen to know anything about the Redites?
I heard some of the other men talking about them, but I don't ask too many questions. Seems to me they just a bunch of angry and confused people with no other way to express themselves than lashing out. I admit I feel sorry for them.
You're not worried about Steam Tech putting you out of a job?
Nah. Machines can only do so much. You still need a man to make them work or to fix them when they're broke. I think them Redites are just making a big fuss over nothing.
Thank you, Gerard. I appreciate the information.
Not a problem, boss.
Damn it. Alright, let's try the docks again.
Keep up the good work, Mr. Hastings. Keep up the good work.
What am I missing? Alright, let's go back here, I guess.
We've exhausted. I'm not too familiar with places like this, but I believe that's where the fun happens, if you've got the crowns for it. The girls here don't get much in the way of a dressing area. Still, something is better than nothing, I suppose. I'm guessing. Cut down inner. That's a nice lock.
Okay, we got the paper out of it. What's it for? Three, two, two, 1, 3. Sorry, clicked off by accident. Went just a smidge too far.
The girls here. I think we're good.
Are we good with questions though? It's in the locket. I can't talk to her. Let me think.
Hello again, Mr.
Is there anything here I could use?
Probably.
I'm missing something.
He seems rather. Just another on. Just.
What am I missing? What is the connection here?
Just another on. Completely.
I can't talk to anyone. Maybe I could try here.
asleep at a coffee house. She's busy.
There's gotta be something here.
History books, biographies. These appear to be books on nothing but a bunch of... It seems the killer didn't want anyone to know about this meeting with McDonough, and possibly not with Ruby either.
Why?
No time. Leave it to Apollo. Looks pretty the former...
Is it someone's at the police station, though?
The room... No need to talk to him. You should...
What do I think? It's a locket, and it's in the Gilded Lily, but there's nowhere in the Gilded Lily that there's numbers. I can't talk to either of the two of them at this point. Can't talk to Steelworks, can't talk up at the Widow's place. There's nothing to do at the Parliament building, can't talk at the police station. I wonder.
I wouldn't get...
That's not it either.
Leave him to...
Damn it. I really don't want to look it up, so I'm doing my best to avoid that. Because I haven't had to do it yet. I've managed it at some point. Wait. 3132213. Maybe it's something to do with the map. No.
All that. A young woman holding... Simon Banks, professional chimney sweep. Services start at 2 coppers per hour. Inquire at 305 Merrick Lane. I'm sure he's a lovable urchin. Self-portrait as a desperate... Dr. W.S. Sales Wonder Tonic. The best and safest medicine for both gentlemen and ladies. Prevents consumption, general weakness, feverishness, indigestion, constipation, diarrhea, loss of appetite, flatulence, and head pain. They should also mention that it prevents breathing, heartbeats, and being alive.
Damn it. There's got to be something that involves valves, numbers, or something. And I'm just missing. Three 2213. Okay, so it's nothing to do with that. Alright, let's go back in here and think a minute.
I'm guessing that the girls here don't get... The girls here... I think we're... Cut down...
Is it something with the image?
Lily, 1809 to 1843. I wonder what happened to her.
There we go.
So,
Yes?
We just had to look at the painting.
that's a rather nice portrait. Who's the subject?
Sometimes
Oh,
it's the
that's
simplest
Lily.
thing.
Before my time. Serafina knows loads about her. Even changed the name of this place in her honor. You might try asking her if you want to know more.
I'll just leave you to it then.
Thanks, love.
This is what I get for not clicking on things like I should.
May I ask you a few questions, Serafina?
Of course you may, but I can't guarantee.
Yeah. Talk about Lily.
Could you tell me about the young lady in the portrait hanging in the back room?
Ah, that's Lily Peterson. She was a wonderful woman and a great friend.
What happened to her?
It's a rather tragic story, Mr. Fordham. I'd rather not go into too much detail. The short version is this. She was with a client who got very carried away. She was able to defend herself enough to mortally wound the bastard, but the damage had already been done. The girls and I decided among us that we would rename this establishment in her honor. Some days it's still hard to believe she's gone. I haven't even been able to get rid of her box of things.
I'm very sorry for your loss, Serafina.
Thank you, dear. It was especially awful given Lily's past. Her sister died at the hands of her own husband some 16 years before. Some people just can't escape tragedy, no matter how far they run.
Huh. Something tells me these deaths are significant. It might be a good idea to learn as much as we can about Lily Peterson.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Of course.
So we need to go to the police station for Lily Peterson now, I'm sure. There we go.
Chief Snelling?
Yes, Fordham?
Do you recall a murder involving a woman named Lily Peterson about a year ago?
Lily Peterson? Yes, that name does sound familiar. Of course, the prostitute murder. That wasn't one of yours, was it?
No, it wasn't. Do you remember any other details?
As I recall, the woman was beaten severely by one of her clients, who escaped and was never found. She died a few days later in the hospital. How is this of any relevance, exactly?
That's what I'm trying to piece together. Did you know that Lily Peterson had a sister who was killed some 16 years ago?
I didn't. Are you suggesting that's related somehow?
Very possibly.
I think it is. Would you be able to get me the case file?
What was the victim's name?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
That might be a bit more difficult, unless you can give me more details.
I'll try my best.
Very well.
I gotcha.
What year did you say the case was from?
Okay, 44. Okay, let me think here. 5, 6. 1828.
It was 16 years ago, so 1828.
Right. And who was the detective assigned to the case?
I don't know.
You realize that will make it significantly more difficult to find the file.
Perhaps we'll get lucky.
And what was the victim's official cause of death? That's really not... All right. I'll have a look at... There's nothing I can see that I suggest you get your details in...
All right, we gotta go back. Let's see if we can talk to her again.
We've exhausted... They're in...
Damn it. I was hoping to talk to Upton. Maybe she knew something. Yep, let's take a guess.
Chief Snell.
Yes, Fordham?
I
can... What year?
It was...
Right.
Perhaps we'll...
And what?
It was a stab.
All right.
I'm just taking a guess.
I suggest you...
Well, I would if you'd show me.
Every book and file, and you should bump into this. You should.
I have a fucking case file, I'm sure.
The rumor. No time to... These are...
Okay. It wasn't Bill.
She's bit.
Who'd have the information? Maybe I'll talk to Ruby?
So, Serafina told me that Lily's possessions are still here. Do you know where they're kept?
Yeah, in that cabinet over there. Lily had a special place in Serafina's heart. I don't think she has the nerve to get rid of this stuff yet.
Do you think I could take a look through it?
Oh, I don't know.
Serafina never has to know. I promise I'll only look, not touch.
If I had a crown for every time I'd heard that. But, alright. As long as you keep your word and don't take anything from the box, I'll let you have a look.
I mean, you shouldn't tell me,
I'll get it
like,
for you
this
after.
person, this character
I'll just
doesn't
leave
know
you to it
something,
then.
Because then I
Thanks,
won't check
love.
back with them. Like, oh, this is before my time. Okay. Like, if there had been mention about the box here,
There you go.
I
All
would have known
yours
to talk
for
to
the
her about the
browsing.
box. It's little things like that that can get a little annoying in games like this, but it's not detrimental, it's just a little pet peeve. Oh, yeah, buttons.
A cheap ring. Must have had sentimental value because otherwise there'd be no point in keeping it. These don't look too valuable. Nice scarf, impressively clean too. Lily clearly took care of her things. Let's see what we have in here.
Alright, 18 whatever, the 11th of February. Dear Miss Peterson, what is unorthodox practice for a detective to maintain contact with the relatives of a victim after the case has been closed? Your story has touched me on a deeper level. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you during this, difficult time. I understand you have decided to take it upon yourself to raise your sister's son, and for that I commend and respect your strength of will. Again, do not hesitate to contact me if there is anything I could do to help. Detective Lester Barnett. Okay, and then we have the paper, the buttons. What was it? 3132213.
One of 3 buttons with an engraved lily on it. I wonder if they're just decorative or if they have some other purpose. Well now, I think we just found ourselves a bonanza.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Aunt Lily, I tried. God knows I tried, but I couldn't let the bastard get away with this crime. I refused to watch you suffer the same fate as Mother. Justice had to be done. I've snuffed out his life just as he tried to choke yours out of your body. The blood that stains this letter is his. As I write this, you're in a hospital bed unconscious. I don't know if I'll ever be able to speak with you again, but I am placing this letter in your secret place in the hope that you will someday be able to read it. In the meantime, I have discovered my true calling. This is it. I must dispense justice to those who harm innocent women. I have seen the cycle of violence go on and for too long. I have lost both my mother and aunt to violent men, and I must stop this from happening again. I spoke with Gloria, and she told me she had been violated by one of her clients, an ironworker named Hannibal Kirkland. I will observe his habits until the time is right to strike. After he is taken care of, I will find others and do the same until this wretched city is scrubbed clean. I need to send a message. Love to you always.
The girls here don't...
Well.
So, Ruby.
Yes?
We have a big problem.
I found this letter inside a secret compartment in the box belonging to Lily. Do you know anything about it?
I thought we agreed you wouldn't take anything from there.
This is a special case. This letter's from Lily's nephew, the Justice Killer.
Oh, I see. Look, I've only been here a short time. I don't know anything about Lily or any killers or anything, I swear.
You know, I think she's telling the truth.
I'll just leave you to it then.
Thanks, love.
Let's have a little chat then about the nephew.
May I ask you a few questions, Serafina?
Of course.
Serafina, what can you tell me about Lily's nephew?
Her nephew? I didn't know she had a nephew. Lily didn't talk much about her family, as you can probably imagine.
You're not lying to me, are you?
I have nothing to hide from you.
Except maybe the truth. But I don't think we have what we need to make her talk. If there even is anything that would make her talk.
Thank you for your time.
Of course.
Well then. We got something now.
Chief Snelling?
Yes, Ford.
I really need to take a look at that.
What?
It was 16 years.
Right.
Alright, it was
Lester Barnett.
Yep. Right. He was quite active in those days. And what was the victim's official cause of death?
It was strangulation.
All right. I'll have a look and see if I find anything.
Boom.
Ah, yes. Here we are. This should be a match. Have a look.
Alright. Case file 321.
So we have our killer's last name and possible first name, assuming he's the same man Linda Walker talked about. Perhaps it's time to ask about him at the docks.
Victim name, Liam Collins, Daisy Collins. 37, 34. Gunshot, self-inflicted strangulation. Police were notified after a neighbor heard shouting and general commotion from the Collins apartment. Upon arrival, they found Daisy Collins in the living room with clear signs of strangulation. In the bedroom, they found Liam Collins, the apparent victim of a self-inflicted gunshot to the head. Nope. Searching the rest of the apartment, officers found a young child aged approximately 4 years old hiding in a closet. The child did not respond to the questions and was visibly upset. Dr. Lester Barnett conducted an investigation and determined that Liam Collins attacked his wife, likely under the influence of alcohol, and accidentally caused her death. Part of what he had done, he used a pistol to take his life. The child has been taken into police custody and is awaiting transfer to an orphanage if no next of kin is found.
No need to talk.
Let's have a little chatty. Do. Ah, no, the docks.
You again? What do you need?
Information, sir, please.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Yourself.
Do you know a man named Samuel Collins?
Yes, I do. He's one of my workers.
Is he working today?
No, it's his day off.
Donto just
Why
incriminated
do you
himself on
ask?
the social media site.
I'm very
actually
interested
admitting
in
to stealing
speaking with
classified
him.
documents.
Could you tell me where I can find him?
I
He
don't
always
just
does
give
this.
out information on my men to strangers. What reason do you have for wanting to speak with him?
I believe he may be involved in some serious crimes.
Is that right? And what are these serious crimes exactly?
I believe Samuel's the Justice Killer.
What? That's absolutely preposterous. You've got quite some imagination, sir.
About...
Yes? What?
I believe he stole from one of your customers.
What? From who?
The Hanbrook Flower Shop. He stole several orders of Easter lilies.
The Hanbrook Flower Shop? They're not one of my customers. I only sell to wholesalers.
A minor detail. The point remains that your man's a burglar.
That's quite a serious claim. What proof do you have?
You can hear it straight from the man who works at the shop that was burgled.
Well, where is he then?
Wait here just a moment. Excuse me, Mr. Hastings?
What is it, Detective? As I said, I'm rather busy.
I was wondering if you might help me with something. Could you please tell the shipping manager over there about the burglaries at your flower shop?
Certainly.
God, I forgot about his walk cycle.
Go ahead, Mr. Hastings.
Right. It all started around 5 months ago. And he didn't come around again after that night.
Thank you, Mr. Hastings. That'll do. Now are you convinced?
Fine. I hate to lose 2 of my men in such a short amount of time, but if he's done wrong, I can't just stand by. Samuel lives in Chumley, at 210 Abattoir Row.
Thank you, sir. You may have just saved several lives.
But I'm going to have to spend several crowns in order to get things back to normal.
Oh no, how awful.
Now, if you'll excuse me...
Alright, let's save before we go there.
Samuel Collins?
Yes?
I'm Terrence Shackley from the Labor Department. I wanted to ask you some questions about your employer at the docks.
Oh, of course. Please come in. I'm sorry, what did you say your name was?
Terrence Shackley? But it's not my real name. I just used it to get into your apartment. I believe you did something similar at the Houses of Parliament with Mr. McDonough.
So, you're Fordham, the one who was snooping around at the Gilded Lily.
Indeed. We meet again, Mr. Collins.
Of course. The rooftop. I'm sorry about what happened to your partner. It wasn't my intent for him to die.
Oh, he's sorry, is he? Is that supposed to make things better?
I suppose this encounter was inevitable. But I admit I didn't think it would be this soon. So, you're here to arrest me.
Assumptions are like soufflés. Making them seems like a good idea, but they soon prove to be more trouble than they're worth.
Not to mention they're puffed up with air and deflate when you poke them.
So you're not planning to arrest me? That makes sense.
Arresting you wouldn't be proper justice. You've taken so many lives.
Oh, please. Every one of those men deserved what they got.
I mean, I don't agree with the death penalty, so I don't agree with that. It's one thing with self-defense. But I have to go by the logic of this game.
The only people who deserve death are those who kill.
How easy it is for you to be the judge of others. Well, I can do the same. I judged those men, and I found them wanting.
I understand your reasons, but that doesn't mean your actions were justified. You need to pay for your crimes, one way or another.
My crimes? What about theirs? If not for me, they would have gotten away with them.
There are other ways of upholding justice, Collins. Ways that don't involve mass murder.
The system is broken. Criminals get away all the time, you know that.
Only too well.
But you comprehend my situation. You understand my reasons for doing what I do.
Understanding is not the same as approval.
But it is the first step.
Is this bastard really suggesting what I think he is?
Oh, probably.
All I ask is that you allow me to continue my work in peace.
You asked me to look the other way once before, and I refused.
Yes, and it cost your partner's life.
Well, this time it's just you and me, and I'm still not going to let you off.
Oh,
You're out of your mind if you think I'm going to just let you keep killing.
Damn right, Miles. This has to end.
Then you leave me no choice.
Fordham, are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank God you're a better shot than I was.
So, this is our justice killer?
That's right.
I suppose congratulations are in order. You did well in finding him.
Thank you, Chief Snelling. I'm glad we were finally able to work together.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you weren't so brash as to confront him without notifying me
Jesus
first.
Christ, yeah.
Perhaps there is hope for you yet. Now then, I'll go get the other officers so we can lock down the scene and remove the body. Wait here.
Late at night, hey, Bill? Bill? Are you there?
He's gone.
Bill?
Wow, that's actually kind of depressing. But it's good.
It's good of you to do this, Miles. Do you need some time alone?
If you wouldn't mind.
All right. I'll wait for you over by the sycamores.
So, it's finally over. I have to admit, it's been strange not hearing you all the time anymore. Never in a million years did I think I would actually miss it. But the important thing is you've moved on, and I got what I was looking for. I'm starting up my own private detective agency, you know. Addie and Upton are going to be my partners.
Hey!
It should be interesting, to say the least.
Good. Good for you.
Oh, that reminds me. I brought you a little something.
Brought some alcohol, didn't you? Yeah.
It's not much, but I thought you might appreciate it. Thank you for all your help, Bill. I truly would have been lost without it. Goodbye, old friend. I love you.
And that was Lamplight City. Fantastic. I didn't expect for that to hit like it did when he started to talk to Bill and Bill didn't answer. Man, Francisco really did do a lot. The writing, design, art, animation, programming, and sound design. Honestly, I had a really good time with this. My biggest problem with point-and-click games growing up is that they never interested me as an adult because I didn't play them growing up. My mind can't do the moon logic stuff that well, so I'm always leery of a lot of point-and-click games. This one was a lot more grounded, which I appreciate. Ah, and here's our voice ring. Oh, I did Samuel Collins too. And Bill. Interesting. I don't recognize any of the names, but I might recognize faces at some point. If I ever look into it. But the voice cast was really good. The artwork, of course, was really nice. I enjoyed the music was good. The stories were interesting. The writing was well done. Gotta say, I really recommend this game. Even if you're not the biggest fan of point-and-click adventures, this is fun. It's just one of those things where you have to make sure you're clicking on everything. Sometimes if you get lost and get stuck, because you never know what you've, missed. And there are definitely aspects of the story I didn't see because I didn't make certain choices or find certain things. And I still think I didn't get the correct killers, possibly on 2 of them. So, it's one of those things where maybe I'd have to go back at some point and look through and see what I missed. You know, there's dialogue I probably didn't get to access, and characters I didn't meet, or something like that. Or if I did meet them, I wasn't able to connect things correctly. But still, I don't feel like I was robbed of anything. I feel like, overall, a satisfying story with solid payoff and everything. Really just fun all around. And for kind of a what-if scenario of if the U.S. never, got independence from the UK and what it would have been like during the 1800s and the Victorian era. So all in all, yeah. I think the game is currently on sale at goodoldgames.com. I might be wrong. They are doing a big sale, at least for through Monday. Monday's when they're going to be wrapping up the sale. So if you want to go there and pick this up for yourself, I recommend it. And, and see what other cool things you can pick up while you're there. And also don't forget to check out Rosewater, which is the next game from this same creator. And it's going to, I guess, feature Bill's sister, who we've actually learned a small smidgen about earlier in the game. Actually, right around the beginning, who lives out west. So it's going to take place in a different area of this alternate timeline, US, and it's going to be a different setting. So it should at least be interesting. And like I said, they're going to be announcing the voice cast here soon. So that would be something interesting to check out. I'll actually see if I can go find the Twitter page for the developer for this, so you all can check that out yourself to keep an eye on that if you're interested. I'm just letting this go through. I like the little flowers down there under the light. Nice touch. Aw, I enjoyed playing it. And I guess I should thank Scarfulu for doing the video on the game that inspired me to actually look into this and actually like wishlist it originally. Bonus content? Really? I have to check that out, I guess, real quick before we do nothing else. I'm curious. Actually, is there anything after credits? Nope. Bonus. Bloopers. Oh.
Dearest?
Hold on, sorry.
Oh, I love it.
In the middle, see? God, this bird's annoying.
I love stuff like this.
Cormac's just going to pop inside for a quick putt. God damn it, Barbosa! Get out of me!
The only hotel that comes to mind is the Ballston Arms in Jesus Christ. But all the victims have been men in Chumsky. Chumley!
Chumsky?
Chumley. That is my new least favorite word. But all the victims have been men in Damn it. Chumley. A woman in the Chumley. I hate Chumley so much.
It's simple things like this. It's a nice little sneak peek into voice work, voice acting and that, which is it's a tough job to actually like learn to speak naturally while reading lines, and if you're doing like various voices, it's a lot of practice, a lot of hard work.
Come on, there's not a moment to lose. Sorry, I just wanted to make him feel like I'm excited.
How can you tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile?
How?
One will see you later, and the other will see you in a while.
You're fired.
You're gonna retell that joke, though.
I am.
Damn it. I love this. There's a lot of them. I'm not gonna go through all of them. It's just that's just nice. Okay, this one I have to.
She's the LeBron James of the prostitutes. Got it. Cool.
That was just dumb. Okay. The concept art. Oh, that is interesting. So they called the entire U.S. Vespucia. Vespucia, interesting. So we've got Kingsland, which is right here, and New Britannia is right there. So I was right that it wasn't New York. It's what, like Yeah, it's in Delaware. I think it is, and it looks like it's around Delaware. Interesting. So up here is New Holland, Appalachia, Dixie, Piedmont, Lorraine, Rotterdam, and Western Vespuccia. This is where Rosewater takes place, I believe. I love this. I love concept art. That is a picture. Oh, so this is the initial one. Very box. Spooky house. I wonder how much this didn't actually get. Like, there's several of this things that didn't get used. That was the original apartment. Ooh, yeah, we didn't do a bookshop. Interesting. Huh. And you can actually like play with the commentary held on, which I don't know. That might be interesting at some point if that's something you're into. Real quick before anything else, I wanted to give a quick shout out. I misspelled that. Hang on. Let me see if I got that spelled right. We'll find out in just a second. No clip? Really? Ah, there we are. Let's say, is my internet having problems? Okay. My internet might be having problems.
Oh, that's a lot of dead bud.
My internet's having a lot of problems. Sorry. One sec. Well, shit. Hang on, I gotta check something. Thank you, James. Glad you enjoyed that. Oh my god, this is bad. Oh, this is so bad. Why, internet, are you doing this? Why are you this way? Like, no joke, this is bad. Oh! Stop! Stop being shit. Alright, hang on a minute. Let me see if I can do anything about this. Well, at least we got through that. But yeah, go check out Scarf's channel. Like I said, Scarf was the reason I even learned about this game in the first place, so there's that. Oh my god, just stop being shit, computer. Alright. Are things starting to come back a little bit? I think it's starting to come back just a little bit. Or not. Nope. I'm gonna try something. Hang on. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, I think we're good. Finally. Alright, let me find this real quick like I said I would. Yeah, here is the Twitter for the developer for this game. So you can go ahead and go take a look yourself and keep an eye out for Rosewater if you're interested. It's going to be kind of a Western style, which I think it looks interesting. You know, from the little bit I've heard of it. Oh. Looks like there's I don't know if there's currently a dev stream, but there was one a little while back, so there you go. Actually, just a few days ago. Let me check something real quick. I'm curious to see if how often well, if you want to go check it out yourself, there was a dev stream and it's saved there. Here is the Twitch channel for you to go check out as well. It's got a little bit of like the artwork and stuff going on in some of the animations. Ooh, lockpicking, shooting. This looks like it's gonna be a fun time. I'm looking forward to looking into that. So I'm gonna go to the small screen for a minute. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe we should do something else before I wrap up for the night. As I've been going for 7.5 hours. I'm not exactly tired yet. I don't know what to do. Whew. But we did finish Lamplight City. So this will be going in the collection with that. So if you've missed the past streams, be sure to check out the collection. Which will have all of the parts of it into it. It'll be after I finish stream, I'll do this part too and add it in. But you know, I do recommend it. So yeah, highlight people. This is gonna be the wrap up for Lamplight City. Probably gonna do a few more things on stream, so we're not ending, but we're gonna tell you bye. So yeah, take care, stay safe, stay awesome, and we're gonna do some more stuff. And there's an ad coming in about 4 minutes for chat, so you know, if you want to get around that, you can always drop a sub. They are cheap right now because it is September, so go ahead and do that. Anyway, bye, highlight people.